Hello everyone, today's construction day 131.
All right, so the cool weather's over. Back in the truck with the aircon on. So the three guys that were out yesterday are back today, so that's great, but JC's out. So we're only +2. But they're more tiling, there's some landscaping, they're working on the fence. So let's get up to the work site and see what's going on. All right, so Wilma was down there talking to the guys this morning. You can see her, and she just noticed that I'm up on the roof, and she was yelling up to Felix, saying, "Don't let my husband fall." So look at the view. It's a cloudy day again today. But when you get up here on the roof, you just don't realize how big the roof is. This is just a carport. This is over the master. And I got to be cautious where I walk. I got to make sure I'm walking on the purlins. But then this is the main roof, and you can see it's a few feet taller. And what Felix is doing today is he came back. I remember I told you like 10 videos ago we had one leak. But what he's doing is he's going around to all the joints. So can you see it right here? And he's putting silicone on all these joints. Now there's no leak here, but he's still doing silicone. Now remember, these ribs help with the process of the flashing. So wherever you see the rivets is where you see where there would be one of these ribs. So the water is not going to go here, jump over, come down, and then travel all the way across. So that's the design. But this is considered the flashing that goes over top of the roof. And you can see what they did was they cut into the concrete. And if you remember, the flashing had a 1-inch lip on it. So they insert the flashing 1 inch into the rendered firewall, they call it. And then once that's inserted, they come back with more concrete that has a waterproofing in it. You can see it's a different color. See, it's a different color. So it has a waterproofing in it. And then they bring that down flush. And just put, so any rainwater that hits this just runs down and comes onto the flashing, and then eventually goes down to the end of the house with the 5-degree tip. But in the flashing, there is some joints. So what he's doing is he's going from joint to joint, and this is fresh. He just did this a little while ago. And he's just putting another layer of silicone on these joints just to be safe. And we did have a leak in the spare bedroom. So I'm going to make my way over there, and we'll see what Felix did to remedy that leak. It's a cloudy day, but still, look at the view on top of the roof. You can see for definitely long distances. So here's another look. I'm up on the main roof, and you can see just how big this roof is. I guess I should ask the contractor how many square meters this roof is. I'm going to guess and say it's definitely over 200. I'll maybe do the math and let you guys know. But there's the spares. This is the main roof. And then the master, then the carport going in a different direction. So Felix is done with all the joints, putting silicone on the master side. He still has to come up and do the main side. And then he's working on the spare side now as I walk across. So he's just going around. Mayong buntag! It's our neighbors looking at their property. So he's going from just joint to joint and just putting an extra layer of silicone on all the flashing, just to be safe. So I thought that's a good thing. Alright, tile progress. So you can see they got a lot of tiles down. And you can see they're starting to prep. There's the one cracked one. They're starting to prep, and they got some lines already made to cut to get them over here in the corner. And there was a question about baseboard molding. We will have baseboard moldings around all the rooms for tile. So I did verify that. And I guess it's some kind of a PVC. And there's two different choices. I think it's 1 inch by 3 or 1 inch by 4. So we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But definitely making some progress. So we got Robert over there wrapping up, going out to where the glass will be, main glass. And then Jerry's working towards the kitchen area. Ramilla's back, our labor. So he did tell the story that he was not able to get across the river because of the water flow. And he said that this morning it did calm down, but he did get soaked. It was still rushing pretty fast. So that's a pretty amazing story where this guy has to swim across a ravine of water to get to work. Like I said, he's been staying here quite often. I would say half the time, 2-3 nights a week, he's been staying here on site. But here's their cement mix with the tile grip that they're mixing in with it, tile adhesive for this porcelain tile. And they're going to town getting it done. Definitely looking nice. We really like this shiny tile, this porcelain tile that really goes with the theme of the modern style. And we really liked a little bit of color. Remember, we considered white, and that would just been too much. So this has got a little tan to it. So that this theme will be repeated in the island, as well as the overhead for the stove. Will all be repeated with the same theme. So looking good. All right, so here in the west side fence, did a little bit of work here, adding some stone around the septic. And you can see now they're starting to form up the columns to wrap up. You know, they leave little pieces to be formed up. See that little section right there that needs to be formed. So that's what the guys are working on today. Going around getting the pieces of plywood that's left around the site. And they're forming up. And they'll go ahead and finish pouring the concrete. And then on this side of the fence, which will be different from the other side, they'll actually have to build out the columns with concrete. It comes out a couple of inches all the way up. So it actually looks like a column sticking out of the wall of the fence, as opposed to being flush. So they still have to work on that as well. But the guys are starting to form up, and we'll get the rest of the concrete poured, get the columns finished, and then finish the top like the other side, and then we'll be ready for paint. So while Janelle is waiting for the guys to get the columns formed up, because we still got to put that rock, remember the 60 cm rock alongside of that fence, not too close so they can paint it, but just get the prep done, get the rocks in place with the concrete bags as the landscaping fabric that we're using. So we decided to put them over here for the day so they're not working in the same area, and just go ahead and start pulling out all the vegetation. I mean, look how much this has grown up just over a couple of months. So he's going through exposing the rock wall. You can see how tall it is, holding back all the dirt. And we still have one column to work. So this column right here still needs some work. It has the water line in it. So that's what's holding them up. I think they got to move that water line out a little bit, and then they'll go ahead and finish off that column. And then once that is done, we can start backfilling down here. So Janelle has plenty of work. So you can see now that goes down, geez, that's got to go down 3 feet. 3 feet from my foot all the way down. So that all needs to be backfilled. So I think what we're going to do, the foreman said that they have no need for all these pebbles that come out of the raw sand. So we're going to go ahead and use that. I just got to verify one more time with the foreman that they don't need that for mixing cement. And if they're not going to use it for anything, then we'll go ahead and just get rid of it and put it down here. And then what we'll do is we'll go ahead and use the larger rock on top of it. But I'll have to confirm all that. But we can come all the way down to this area. So it looks like about four more panels. We can do some landscaping. And again, we're going to do the exact same thing where we want Wilma's garden to be as level to eye as possible. And then when it gets a few feet away from here, we don't want all this water coming down and spilling out onto the garden. So we're going to have that taper down just so slightly, and then put a lot of rock in here, just because we want to keep channeling the water away from the main property, down the fence line, and then eventually down here to the weep holes. We did bring up more wire mesh, so we can start making the weep holes. That's another project for Janelle, so we'll definitely keep him busy. And then speaking with Felix today, I think he has some work to do on another site, and then he'll be up here in the next couple weeks, and he'll start making the metal fence. So it'll be black steel with horizontal steel going across. I think they call it quarter round, with either 2x2 or 2x3 steel around like a picture frame. So that'll go across the whole front of the property. And then we're going to hold off any landscaping here because we still have to get the main power line run, and then this all has to be rendered front and back. And then once it's rendered like it is here, then we can go ahead and start sloping it down and then filling that in with rock as well. So we have plenty of projects, but we're just trying to stay away from the main construction. And then once they're out of the area, then Janelle can go in and start prepping for the landscaping plan that we have. What do you think, boss? Looking good? You can see our rock wall again for the first time. So this needs a lot of work too. There's a lot of dirt in there, as you can see. We're going to power wash this, put some uric acid, try to clean these rocks up the best we can, to make it look good. It's a main landscaping feature. Goes all the way across. It'll have concrete stairs in the middle, going from the pool area down to the main area down here for the garden. So a lot of work to be done in this area. All right, you can see Philip today. He had a big meal, so he's got a full belly. They've been running around. Can't keep them contained anymore. They're just all over the place. But they're always running, chasing their mother, tails wagging. Then they take their naps, and you can see how healthy they look. They look real good. Just a couple of weeks away from going to their new homes. But they're really getting used to us because just like Sandy, wherever we go, they go. And they just lay at our feet. And they don't do that with the workers. They actually run away from the workers. But for us, just like Sandy, they come right to us every day. They love to be held. They love to be petted. And they're definitely good boys. So let's go find Pinot, and I'll put Philip down to keep running around. So Pinot, he's caught up. He weighs in weight the same as Philip. Now Philip is longer. When you pick him up, you can feel that Philip is a longer dog, and Pinot here is more stocky. He's shorter from nose to tail. But I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but he's got very dark blue eyes. Now he just woke up from a little nap, but I don't know, can you see his eye color? Is it even coming up on the camera? Both eyes are a very dark blue, but he is the heavier. I mean, look how big he is in the back. He is very wide. He eats really good. I mean, so does Philip. But remember, this guy was the smallest of the two when they were first born, and he caught up. Look at these ears. Got good looking ears. So again, just a couple of weeks away from going to their new owner. And the good news is we spoke to the owners and they love the names, Philip and Pinot. So they're going to keep the names. And hopefully we'll be able to visit them from time to time. But he looks a little tired today. But again, he follows us around. Wherever we go, they go. And they just love to be near us. So take a look down at Philip. See, Philip is just hanging out, just like Sandy does. So wherever we go, they go. And they're very good dogs. They're eating so good. I'm very surprised how quickly they took to eating. So we got to pick up some puppy chow and mix that in with the rice and the milk. They really love the milk when they get there. So he's starting to fall asleep. But puppies are doing well.